For my project, I went with the research question, what role does entertainment media play in affecting U.S. diplomacy and U.S. foreign relations abroad? So let's begin by defining a few key terms. Cohen and Gohl originally defined public diplomacy as an international actor's attempt to advance the ends of policy by engaging with foreign publics. However, the terms have expanded since the events of 9/11, when former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Defense Joseph Nye said that the objectives have been shifted, when he claimed that the struggle against terrorism is trying to win the hearts and minds of the people. So for many, including the Department of Defense, public diplomacy now includes listening, advocacy, cultural diplomacy, and the exchange of international broadcasting. Another really big change also is that public diplomacy and exchange of international broadcasting no longer is confined to non-governmental actors. Non-governmental actors can also be involved. Another term I'll be using a lot is the term entertainment media, which is conveying information via narratives on television, radio, comic books, etc. Because of this new expanded definition of public diplomacy and their use of entertainment media, this has created a new word, entertainment education, which is the use of entertainment media to try and get across a point. Why is this important, you may ask? Well, a growing body of evidence starts to suggest that entertainment media is much more effective at producing significant change in viewers' knowledge, attitudes, and behaviors as compared to news media and public service announcements. In a study that compiled 120 public health campaigns that featured public service announcements, posters, brochures, it showed that on average 5% of individuals exposed to these traditional campaigns are more likely to change their behavior in a positive direction. This is because most individuals that are at risk tend to not be exposed to these campaigns because they choose not to watch them. So bringing the message to them is very difficult and very costly. The same can be said for news media, because people often only watch news media that tend to reaffirm their biases. So when trying to change someone's public attitude, you're not going to get that from news media. So why are narratives more important? Research starts to suggest that information delivered by engaging storytelling in association with characters that people already care about allows viewers to be attracted to this information rather than something with very little context and just plain facts. It seems to be boring to people. Additionally, information that is conveyed or given to you through a narrative format is actually processed than that same information from a non-narrative perspective. These information, especially emotion eliciting narratives, actually tend to stimulate your brain and allow it to be more easily encoded, stored, and retrieved from your brain. So now we know that entertainment media is can be very impacting towards attitudes. So how does this relate to international diplomacy? Simply enough, entertainment media and entertainment education is a tool that a nation can use. If we consider Kotler and Gertner's article, Countries as a Brand, Product, and Beyond, a place of marketing and brand management perspective, where they state that countries should try to use marketing strategies to promote their ideals and promote their identities in the public spheres, such as public diplomacy, they can really get what they want. An example of this is what is called the Letterman effect, where David Letterman, a late-night comedian, has actually gained popularity in Saudi Arabia. And young men who watch his show there's been a correlation where their attitudes towards Americans have changed, their attitudes towards Westerners have changed, and they're increasingly less likely to join jihadist movements. This counteracts what Hoffman describes as the new terrorist strategies, where terrorist recruiters actually go on social media and use entertainment media as a way to recruit potential fighters and sympathizers to their cause. David Letterman has accidentally become an anti-terrorist tool to stop terrorist recruitment in Saudi Arabia. As much as entertainment media can be used to stop radicalization, we can also say the opposite. Here we have a chart showing us that the amount of white deaths in entertainment media compared to minorities in the years 2015 to 2016. This actually correlates to an increase in the amount of white nationalism movements as much as other radicalization movements in that year. We actually see the rise of hate groups in 2016 compared to the year 2015 due to the amount of minorities who are starting to see themselves as unfairly portrayed in entertainment media. So not only do whites feel like they're being subconsciously under attack by the number of white people that die over and over again on TV, but minorities don't feel like they're being happy with how they're being treated. This has led to a rise in hate groups. And both major political groups in the United States have seen this and have started to use this and harness it as part of their political platform as a way of fear-mongering and pushing across their platform. Another example I'm going to use is Law & Order SVU. The primary objective of Law & Order SVU is not really to engage in international public diplomacy or try to change the minds of viewers, yet this can be achieved accidentally. For example, there's an episode called Witness, in which it deals with a fictional character called Nardelli. Nardelli was forced to flee the Democratic Republic of Congo after being repeatedly raped by local militias, vying for conflict minerals, in quotations. So a study was done using this episode as one of its key components, because the researchers of that believe that this article, because it's an entertainment program, tells the story of this young woman in a compelling way that may actually captivate the viewer's attention. And it can maybe possibly educate the audience on what's actually going on in some of these countries. Research was definitely concluded, and it showed that there was definitely a shift in attitudes, making the woman from the Congo more sympathetic, as well as bringing into light some of these atrocities that are occurring in some of these nations. However, more studies need to be done on this to see what is the true maximum impact that some entertainment education can reach. The research shows that entertainment education can definitely have changes in attitudes and opinions. However, I don't see enough governmental actors doing this. As I said before, public diplomacy can now also involve non-governmental actors. However, if a state really wants to use this effectively, they're going to have to start considering this as a tactic more. Entertainment education can be a very effective tool, yet why aren't many states doing this? Well, I think it has to do with the inherent biases that exist in the international system, with aspects like diplomacy being seen as a soft power, thus not being given a lot of influence. We need to shift our minds, like Hoffman says, that there is a new terrorist mindset. In order to combat this new terrorist mindset, we have to create a new mindset ourselves. So this has the ability and the potential to be incredibly effective, yet it's not being done. We should use entertainment education. We should use these studies and be able to use it to our advantage. Increased globalization and this new internet age has allowed us to connect with others in ways that we've never done before. Yet a lot of our heads of states are still stuck in the past. The use of social media, use of entertainment education like TV, comics, radio, etc. can be an incredibly effective tool in fighting terrorism, but also fighting racism, tribalism, colorism, ageism. These shows can definitely break boundaries if given the chance to. We need to change our mindset, and together we can change the world.